Hi there, it's Gabriel here from PILOTCLIMB.com, and in today's video we're going to talk about the aircraft approach categories. By the end of this video you will know which decision altitude and RVR you have to choose whenever flying an approach procedures. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So as you can see here from the table above, we've got the screenshot of a minimums section of an approach chart. Okay, in this case, it should be a Jeppesen Approach Chart. It's actually the extract of the approach chart that we analyzed in the yesterday's video. So I strongly recommend you to watch that before you actually watch this video. So as we talked about yesterday, each approach procedures, in this case an ALS or a localizer only approach, has got different decision altitudes depending on the aircraft category. So as you can see here, we've got Alpha Bravo Charlie and Delta category for the ALS, and then we've got Alpha Bravo Charlie and Delta category for the RVR requirements. Okay, in a localizer only approach we don't have categories, so every aircraft, depending regardless of the category regardless of its category, has to use this decision altitude of 2120. So let's dive into the categories and let's talk about them in order to understand what are them. As you can see here, we've got from Alpha to Delta, and each category depends on the VAT. VAT is the speed at which an aircraft will cross the threshold. Okay, so as you can see, let's say an aircraft is actually on landing, it's doing its final approach. Here we've got the runway, and when it crosses the threshold of the runway, this is the speed, okay, and this is the VAT. What is a VAT? VAT is equal to 1.3 multiplied by the speed of stall in landing configuration at maximum certified landing weight. Okay, so as you can imagine, if the aircraft is heavy, it's going to have a higher stall speed, so this number will be higher, and in consequence the VAT will be higher. Okay, so the lighter aircraft, the lightest aircraft goes into category Alpha, then the aircraft is slightly more heavy, it's going to go in Bravo, then we've got the Charlie, and then we've got the Delta. Okay, just to give you a rough idea of what this is all about, you can think about it like the small single engine Pistons, they go into category Alpha, the small multi-engine aircraft go in category Bravo, the airliner like the 737 Airbus 320, they go in Delta, and so on. So as you can imagine, let's say the bigger the aircraft, the further down the ladder of the category ladder it is. Okay, yes, but why is important? Okay, how do I know which category I've got my aircraft has? Okay, in every aircraft has been certified during the flight test and has been given a category. Okay, so you should know, depending on your aircraft, check the manual where should state the category of your airplane. I've been flying the 737 for more than 10 years, and for me the category for the 737 is actually the Charlie category. Okay, so in order to understand exactly how these categories are established, we can go down here in this table, and as you can see here, we've got Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo, and we've got the VAT. So you know exactly what the VAT, and an aircraft of category Alpha with a VAT less than 91 knots is gonna be, the aircraft from category Alpha has got a VAT that's lower than 91 knots. Category Bravo, we've got 91. Between 91 and 120, category Charlie 120 to 140, category Delta 141 to 165, and finally category Echo 166 to 210 knots. So as you can see here, the heavier the aircraft, the further down is the ladder of the class of the plane. Okay, in our case, it's the Boeing 737, it's a category Charlie, has got a VAT between 121 and 140. A VAT is not the only the only parameter to take into consideration when deciding which aircraft category you are in. But as you can see here next to the table, we've got some other ranges of speed that you have to think about and take into consideration depending on your aircraft category. As you can see here, we've got the range speed for initial approach. Okay, for me that I fly the 737, I've got between 160 to 240. So basically from the EF this is the speed that I should maintain. Okay, that's the range between 160 to 240. The range on final approach speed is between 115 to 160. Okay, so the max speed for visual maneuvering or circling is 180 knots. Okay, the maximum speed for final for missed approach procedure, we've got an intermediate is 160 and the final is 240. So as you can see here, if you talk about speed for circling, and we put this in there, okay, as you can see here, it says 180 knots and is exactly in the same, is parallel to the Charlie category, alright? So for the circle approach, if you don't know what circle approach is, watch the video that I made yesterday where we talked about it. You can see that for category Charlie it's maximum 180 knots during the circling, and that's the minimum for the circling, and that's the visibility that we need in order to fly the circling as category Charlie aircraft. Alright, so now you know exactly what does it mean and what it is. As you can see here as well, we've got the RVR depending on your category. So depending on your category, really, you can choose. You have to look at your decision altitude. One thing that we need to make sure that we know is that depending, as you can see, the Alpha category has got 2,352 feet, and the aircraft Delta has got 2,382. So the heavier the aircraft, the higher will be the decision altitude. Why is that? It's because, of course, you fly faster, so you want to have a little bit extra gap in order to, because let's say you are flying to a cloud and then you get out of the cloud with a small aircraft, you have with a slow aircraft you have a lot of time to think about where you are, to look around and see the light. But with a fast aircraft, you need to make this decision quicker, okay? That's why we've got a little bit a slightly higher minimum, just to give you a bit of extra time to think about if you see the runway or not, okay? So you have an extra time before you actually get too close to the ground. Alright, so this is basically all about that, okay? As you can see here as well, we've got Bravo, Alpha Bravo's RVR 1,500 meter and converted meteorological visibility of 2,400 meter for category Charlie and Delta for the localizer glass drop out only. I hope this video was clear for you. Also in the comments, put the last approach procedure which you have done and which decision altitude category you chosen. If you have any questions about that, just drop me the question in the comments and I will be more than happy to answer you. Subscribe to the channel to get the latest contents and like the video if you like it, and go and check the PILOTCLIMB.com webpage where you can subscribe for free pilot training contents. Thank you very much and I'll see you in the next one.